It looks
Werewolf,
nice.
really? Oh, dude. This is my jam.
Yes.
You know something? After a long day, that would be really nice.
It's been a little bit.
You ready? Are we recording? Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio. Also, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Deezer, wherever you're tuning into us. It's a Dark Mark show. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian, and I'm all by myself because Hannah couldn't make it tonight. She'll be back next week. Trying to figure out what to do for Valentine's Day. We may have a Mark dating game. We may have a Hannah dating game. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing, but tune in. We got a lot of good stuff for you, and we got some great guests tonight. We have the director. Actually, last week we had one of the stars of Meathook Massacre 2. We had Double D. Deborah Dutch. Thank you so much. I totally forgot. Because so many D's lately. So,
yeah.
Deborah Dutch, we have the director of Meathook Massacre, also of Robowoman, Nemesis 5, which he won some awards for. All sorts of stuff. That's I'll turn this around so I know I can actually see what I'm doing. That's Dustin Ferguson, everybody, and he's a much better director than I am. Here we go. Now I got your face. Yes. Yeah. Sleepaway Camp 4, all sorts of other things. We're gonna get into him. He just moved here last year from Nebraska.
Yes.
All sorts of stuff. And he's apparently a rap star as well.
I don't know about star.
Dirty D. He's the dirtiest rap star for some time. Speaking of dirty, and this is a great show because it's going to be sex and violence. This is what I like. Okay. Because we have also, I met this lady actually at a horror premiere.
Yes.
Amazon Eve introduced me to the lovely, I got the camera on her, Tamera Von Tart. She wanted us to walk the red carpet together, but we did not.
No, we didn't. We didn't get a chance to.
But I was so intrigued by you.
Aww.
I couldn't wait to talk to you. And now here you are on the Dark Mark show. So we're going to talk. Before we get started, I've got to tell you, and I'm going to put the camera back on me. I'm sorry. There we go. Got a couple sponsors. How's that looking, D? You're the director.
It's like the top half of your head, so go down.
Okay, so that's good. Okay.
There you go.
Is that where you get? Okay,
that's what you want.
See, there we go. Thank you. That's. Do I need to pay you for that directing, or
I'll send you a bill later.
Okay, so we've got two sponsors. We've got Audible. Audible is our sponsor, and if you go to audibletrial.com/DMS, unbelievable deal. Not only do you get a book and a 30-day free trial, and it could be any book you want. A lot of horror books on there, a lot of books about directing, books on Roger Corman, books on Lloyd Kaufman, books on all sorts of stuff. Whatever you're interested in, 50 Shades of Grey, Harry Potter. Whatever. It's all there.
Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever floats your boat. They got a lot of smut. They got a lot of Betty Page. I think they have a few Betty Page biographies on there. Whatever you like. Pinup books. Whatever you're interested in. You get that, plus 2 Audible originals. And you can get anything from Hi Bob, which is Bob Newhart's at 95 years old interviewing other comics, or the continuation of the Alien Saga, a new audio play with Rutger Hauer playing one of the parts.
Hey.
You can get 2 Audible originals, 1 book, 30-day free trial. Just go to audibletrial.com/DMS. What a deal. Because I'm on the road. You guys are on the road.
All the time.
And, you don't want to, crack a book. You want to listen to books. So that's a good thing. And also, do me some cooking. Anybody vegan in the studio?
No.
Nobody's vegan. Vegan? No. You don't have to be. Do Me Some Cooking is that good. They're that fucking good. Do Me Some Cooking is right here on Fountain and Vine, 1652 Vine Street. They have 2 restaurants. Do Me Some Cooking, Do Me's Next Mex. I am not vegan. You can tell. They have Philly cheesesteaks. They have pulled pork sandwiches. They have shrimp po' boys. On the Mexican side, they have the biggest chicken fajitas I've ever had. All delicious. A Big Mac on the secret menu. Now they have a new restaurant in Culver City. And I had there we go. 9900 Culver Boulevard, Unit 1B, Culver City, California. And they also have a Doing Some Cooking in Toronto because we have a worldwide audience, or so I'm told. So go to Doing Some Cooking, the best vegan food you ever had. Okay? There we go. I got you right in frame. I see the baseball cap right there.
Uh-oh.
Yes, California all the way. That's Dustin Ferguson. Now, I told Deborah Dutch last week, and I just remember her name just now, that she had the most fun IMDb page I've ever seen. And she does. I think you might be second best.
Oh, well, thank you. That's actually an honor.
Because I'm looking at it right now. You got to see this. some of these films that you have. All filmography, because I was looking at this. It's like every horror movie I ever want. You seem to do the sequels to.
Yes, I am kind of a sequel remake guy.
Yeah, you got Scalps 2. You have Sleepaway Camp, Slumber Party Slashathon. You have The Glove Murderer. Let's see here. Silent Night, Bloody Night 2 Revival. Demon Dolls, Meathook Massacre, Meathook Massacre 2. The Amityville Legacy. Night of the Clown. The Dummy 2. Amityville Evil Never Dies. You get around Amityville a lot. And Nemesis 5, the new model. And one that I actually have not seen, but I really am curious about, Horndog's Beach Party.
God.
Now, you're from the Midwest. Now, you moved here from Nebraska, but you were born in Kansas, right? Or
Dodge City, Kansas.
Yeah, Dodge City.
Yep.
How did you get from Kansas to Nebraska? I know that's a lateral move, but
Well, it's pretty close to. I mean, my family moved when I was really young. My parents got teaching jobs in Nebraska, so we relocated. I was like 3. Or something,
oh, okay. So you've
spent
been
most of my life there up until about a year and a half ago.
Cornhusker most of your life.
Yes.
And what was the horror movie that really set you on this path?
To come here?
That you want, yes,
Or just to be a director?
to come here at the Mark Mark Show. No, to scare people, to make scary movies.
Well, as you had discovered upon researching me, I'd done a lot of like editing and stuff prior. So I think it was actually working on Sleepaway Camp 4, where I kind of broke into the industry and realized it was really what I wanted to do.
But what was the movie that you watched that you really wanted, like?
Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
How old were you when you saw that?
7 or 8. It was the first movie I bought with my allowance, and my mom made me watch in the basement by myself, and I had nightmares forever.
So your mom let you buy Texas Chainsaw Massacre when you were 7?
Yeah, it was between. We were like at a big indoor flea market. It was between that and Halloween, and Texas Chainsaw had the freakier cover. So
yeah, I guess it does. And you ended up doing fan edits of all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Isn't that right?
yeah, I did. They were actually for a good 10 years. I did about 100 different edits and composites I released on the internet for free, and I did extended editions of a lot of horror movies.
Wow!
Took the deleted scenes, put them back in, then released them for free online for people that actually own the movies.
Right.
Did that with all the Texas Chainsaws, Child's Plays, a bunch of them.
Yeah, and how did you? I mean, you just took the footage from the DVDs and
yeah, they put it on as special features and stuff, or it's just available, and or like work print versions. I'd make like whole uncut versions of Friday the 13th that had scenes you'd never seen before and stuff like that.
Right, and what was the reaction to that?
At first, it was really negative because the whole scene is really Star Wars based.
Oh, okay. The fan edits.
Yeah, everyone's into like making their super extended Star Wars movies, and so then I come along and I'm making these like 80s slasher movies with deleted scenes, and people are like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Right.
And I think all the resentment I had then is kind of what kept pushing me, and I actually got discovered that way. That's how I got Sleepaway Camp 4, because the guy was a fan of my fan editing.
Oh, okay. So and you did fan edits for all of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres?
Yeah, I did a little box set of like 1 through 4 deleted scenes from the work prints on all of them.
Because I got to be honest now, and I'm one of the guys that like hates the movies that I love the movies that everybody hates. The one with Matthew McConaughey,
my favorite.
I love it.
Part 4
is that not the best?
It's the best.
Have you ever seen that, Tamara?
No, I haven't.
Texas
Renee
Chainsaw,
Zellweger
yes.
And Matthew McConaughey's first movie.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The
4.
Next Generation.
Yeah.
No.
It is. What is on? What is on? What is on? Oh, you got to see this.
I gotta make a list.
No, I'm telling you, Matthew McConaughey's best performance. If you ask me,
it's crazy. It's totally balls to the wall.
he's so nuts in this movie. Oh, and Renee Zellweger.
He's got a mechanical leg that he has to control with a remote control.
It's so great.
It's super crazy.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. And so, what was in the deleted scenes that I didn't see?
So that movie exists in 2 versions. The original one made in 1994 is called Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
And it was actually basically a remake of the original movie. And then studios shelved it. Lawyers got involved because of Renee and Matthew.
Right.
It was recut and retitled Next Generation. And they took out about 10 minutes of the movie. And most of it was all of the dialogue with Renee Zellweger and like the subplot with her abusive stepfather.
Oh, wow.
So,
because now, like 20 years later, they're like, oh, it's okay. Well, but yeah, they were against it for a long time.
Like Shout Factory, I had helped with. They just put out a Blu-ray of the uncut one like a month ago.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
So it's finally officially out.
So is Shout Factory, are they the ones that contacted you after these fan edits?
Yeah, I've done like a lot of work for them. Like I did the uncut Slumber Party Massacre 2 they put out on the Blu-ray.
Okay.
And like a whole bunch of like, I have a whole collection obviously of stuff. So I have a lot of like Japanese trailers and TV spots. And so I give them a lot of that stuff that you find on those Blu-rays.
Oh, wow. You must have quite a collection.
I do. I had a video store before I moved here. I sold the video store to move.
Right. No, I understand that. But and do you miss video stores? I do.
Well, duh. I opened one in 2007.
No, but I mean, it's a thing of the past now. I don't.
But it's come around again the way record stores have. It's like the new wave thing. So I mean, there's all these like hipsters that want to go rent VHS and be cool.
Really?
Yeah. So it totally cashed in on that. And you know, the people that were kids
there's people that like VHS.
Well, yeah, because they're adults now. No, they have kids, and they want to take their kids to the video store on the weekend and rent a movie and experience all that the way they did, just like with records. So most of it are people my age coming in with their like little 10-year-olds. It's so adorable, and like renting a scary movie with them. Like, I didn't buy that. It's awesome. This is the best part of the job.
Right, and so through Shout Factory, you edited together Sleepaway Camp 4.
No. Sleepaway Camp 4 was through a distributor in Australia.
Okay,
they did Slumber Party Massacre 2. It gets confusing. There's Massacre and like
everything. And Slumber Parties and
But yes.
But you did Sleepaway Camp 4, which basically, from what I understand, and once again another one I gotta check out. Have you seen Sleepaway Camp 4? You saw the first one, right?
No, the slasher movies.
Nobody blames you.
You're not a slasher movie.
I kind of like I like aliens, and I'm very
Sci-fi?
particular about my horror movies.
Okay.
So like, I get irritated with females in the movies that like fall down and are like, and you're like, get up, run, like.
Well, you will like his new movie Robowoman that is coming out. Very female
empowered. Yeah, it's a rape revenge thriller. So
see, the first movie that I watched when I was a kid was Alien. So my first impression was like Sigourney Weaver and her coming out and like, get away from her, you bitch. And I was just like jumping out of my seat as a kid. I was
kick her ass.
Ecstatic. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And so that kind of set that for me. So if it wasn't at that level, I'm like,
I understand. Well, Sleepaway Camp, at least the ending is on that level. The first one.
Well, see, those movies, they were kind of the first scary movies. Like, they were like an alternative Friday the 13th that made fun of it. So, like, the killer's a female in those movies. And it's got a big twist. If you don't know it, I'm not going to give it away. But it's sort of like, is really notorious.
It's one of the best twists of all time. Even, like, people, they'll do lists and they'll put it up there with Sixth Sense. Another twist, like
Sleepaway Camp. What the hell?
Yeah, like it's a slasher movie, but it's got this great twist. So Sleepaway Camp 4, from what I understand, 1992. Because I was looking at that, I'm like, wait a second, you did a film in 1992, and you were born in like 84 or something. It's super
complicated. Okay, so like they shot it in 1992, and the company that shot it went bankrupt, and so it was put on a shelf. And then I was hired in 2008. To complete the film. And so we took the footage they shot in 92. It was a clips movie. It's like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, where it's like got 15 minutes of a girl telling all the stories of what happened up to that point, and it's got new footage. So it was really easy to compile. We did it in 2008. It actually didn't come out until 2013. We went through like 6 or 7 versions of the movie before we had decided on the final one, and it finally came out. And so it came out 21 years after it was shot.
Wow! And then how much footage did it have?
Roughly 10 minutes.
Really? You made a whole movie.
Well, there's like an hour of footage, but it comes down to like 10 minutes when you cut it together. So it wasn't favored the best. It was kind of a rocky start for my career, but it's Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, you edited a Sleepaway Camp movie.
I mean, what fan would say no? Obviously,
right? Or somebody harder for money, whatever. I understand how.
No, it was free. I did it.
You did it for free?
Volunteer.
So you could have your name on.
4 years editing that for free.
You spent 4 years editing Sleepaway Camp.
Well, from 2008 to 2012 until it was because it was working with a guy through the internet in Australia, and so it was just this super drawn out process. And
editing's drawn out anyway.
Well, yeah, and there's people that had to approve it from '92, and producers had to be tracked down, and it was just like it took forever.
I can imagine. Are you happy with the final product?
No.
Okay.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where all the hands were in the pot. So it's like we just got it out. At least it's out.
Right. Okay.
I don't hate it, but I mean, if I had complete, creative control, which I didn't, it would have been much different. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about the projects that you have creative control over, but I want to go over here. Tamera Von Tart, and you are a pinup model. Yes. Now, how does a nice Italian girl from Florida become the sex bot that you are today?
A lot of work. I started, I've been modeling for a long time, like since my 20s.
Okay.
I started doing like bikini modeling, but I got bored with it.
Right.
It was just kind of the same thing, guys with digital cameras. Like
kind of like I am doing right now.
A Maxim styled like Playboy shoot with you, and I'm like, this is. It was. It was.
What is this material really for?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was when I started. It was fun. I was living in Florida, so I had
We're in Florida.
Jacksonville.
Okay, I know. I used to live in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, so I know Jacksonville.
Used to go to South Beach quite a bit. It was one of my spots. But so I